Hey everyone, this is going to be really detailed. Well, you're not crazy, but a lot of information in this review, so I'm going to get right into it. I'm doing reviews on cruelty-free foundations, as well as a demonstration of one of them and comparing it to a dupe for Makeup Forever. And I have also some swatches for you to see. But foundation is one that is really difficult for some to find. That's the one thing I have a little more compassion for others. If you have sensitive skin like I do, and I know other people who do as well, who are cruelty-free YouTubers, and just people in general, you know, you have to do what works for you. And if you seriously can't find a cruelty-free foundation, that's the one item of all. Again, you have to see what's right for you, and I'm not encouraging supporting animal testing companies at all. However, when it comes to foundation, if you feel you need to use it, it makes you feel better, and for whatever reason, only one that is not 100% cruelty-free works for you, you know, do the best that you can. Hopefully you can transition and find one that does, and that's the whole purpose of this video. But my heart goes out to those who have trouble, because I know what it's like. I come from a family who has severe allergies. Mine aren't too bad, but with foundation I definitely notice differences. I talk about a few foundations, and there's a few is ILLAMASQUA, E.L.F, E.L.F, Too Faced, Tarte, Physician's Formula, Gosh, and I'm showing a dupe for Makeup Forever, which is an application with, sorry for the dark there, with Gosh. I also show the first impression of me actually swatching it, which is going to come up in a sec. After I explain my first impressions of Tarte and Too Faced, I'm going to show you, explain in more detail actually, more my in-depth review of the foundations. These are just first impressions. I think any of them will work for some. What works for me may not work for me, may work for someone else, etc., etc. I do kind of freak out a bit at first with the formula of one of them, so please wait till after I do where you see it, and then I'll just wait a minute. So this is the two foundations that just came out of Sephora. I just didn't want to videotape in the store. The one at the top there, at the top of my hand where I'm wiggling right there, it's more of a mousse kind of consistency. That's the Amazonian clay. And as you can see, I'll zoom in on it, that's sort of the lightest shade that they had. Doesn't quite match mine, as you can tell. This is Too Faced foundation. Again, warmest cream. I'll put it at an annotation of it, but anyway, that's the lightest shade that they had. I'm gonna smooth it out now so you can see. I don't like the consistency of it, and it totally doesn't match me at all. Like, look at it. It looks like a big mess. I mean, I did put a bit of product on there, but yeah, not my personal favorite. To me, it feels like I'm smearing on like a cold cream or something. Not that I use that, but so here's the Too Faced. Okay, so you see it here. Now I'm gonna smooth it in. It's closer match, but it's still a little too yellowy, orangey to me. And then it feels lighter, but the other one feels like way too heavy. And yeah. So there you go. There's both of the foundations. Swatched and tried the foundations more than once than in the Sephora for the Too Faced and Tarte, just so you know. The Tarte one I definitely used too much in the store. I thought that maybe that's one sort of complaint I have about the product, is I found it harder to control. Maybe it was just the tester because it was reused a lot. It also could be I'm not used to a mousse kind of texture, you could say, from the product. Again, I didn't find it suited my skin tone personally in their lightest shade, but maybe for you it will work. One thing I liked about them is there is this paraben-free, and of all the foundations, even though the one I freaked out kind of about the most, they actually give you the most amount of product. They give you 1.7 fluid ounces when most foundations, almost all of them, are pretty much one fluid ounce. The Tarte is good. I hear that it's a medium coverage is sort of how I would more describe it, and it is buildable, but still I don't want to have to keep building, and if you build too much I think it can look a little cakey. That's just foundation in general I'm saying, but that's not necessarily true. But you know, give it a try. I'm showing these all as options. You can give them a try and see how you feel. I would suggest definitely, if you have a Sephora near you, if you wanted to try Tarte, to try it a few times. Try more than one day, see how your skin is with it. It isn't really my favorite. I love that it's paraben free, fragrance free. That's fantastic. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Full Coverage Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 15 sunscreen, which is paraben free, is $38. Next is and I have a suggestion that is similar to the Amazonian Clay. Next is Too Faced. Too Faced I liked a bit better. I did not like the container personally. It's the one you have to unscrew the cap and pour it out. And I don't like that because I think it's not as hygienic, but I mean, it's not the end of the world, it's fine. Coverage was okay, again, still didn't feel it was as matte or was more of a, both the Amazonian Clay from Tarte and the Too Faced foundation was more of a kind of dewy finish, personally. I mean, it was still okay. Oh, I forgot to mention the amount of shades. That's kind of important. In the Amazonian Clay, there are 8 shades. Not bad. The Too Faced Amazing Face Oil-Free Foundation is for around $45 or so, 47, so it was similarly priced to Tarte. But, and again, theirs is fragrance-free as well, and paraben-free, so that's something that's great in my books. But I don't know, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was just okay. If I had to give it a score out of 5, I guess I'd rate it a 3.5. Next is the ILLAMASQUA. The ILLAMASQUA is great. Their coverage is, I didn't swatch it, I'm sorry. I thought they had the product. They didn't have the particular foundation that I was discussing, but ILLAMASQUA's foundation is expensive. It is around $50. However, it is, if you want a really flawless look, it's really, again, the name as it implies, rich, rich liquid foundations is exactly that. It's very thick, so you don't really need a lot. It can be a bit full on. But the thing I loved the most about ILLAMASQUA is they have a crazy amount of shades. They have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 17 different shades. And that's only in their rich liquid foundation. They even have like a white. They have a really darker skin tone, like black with warm brown undertones. Very good quality, but I find it a bit thick maybe for me, and I find it a little pricey. But that's definitely another option. Definitely test it out because it's really full coverage. Okay, the next review is, again, I don't have the particular product, but I have seen it in some stores, and I'm going to link a very talented, amazing review and demonstration of the product. Is from the lovely, the beautiful, the talented NYCGEORGETTE. I don't know why I like saying Georgette, sounds more Francais. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's the Youthful Wear Cosmeceutical Youth Boosting Foundation and Brush. It's between 15 and $20. Usually what I saw was more towards 20. The only thing about it that's not the most positive is there's only 3 shades. However, if I had to choose between that or the Amazonian Clay, I've heard they're very similar. Again, watch her review. She does a really great, amazing review on it. It's a cheaper alternative for the Amazonian Clay, and to my opinion, if I had to choose between both of those, and that was sort of the one that you were leaning towards, I would go with the Physician's Formula because, one, it's cheaper, about half the price, and they look like they perform very similarly, so, but less shades, so see what works for you. But I haven't fully tried it, but there's another one to try. E.L.F. foundation. Now, I've never tried E.L.F, so this is sort of a, I don't really know if you call this a review, but I've scoured for all these Cruelty foundations in the last few months and watching videos. I don't know if it's that great a quality. However, for $6, you can't really go wrong. Well, you can go wrong, but if it doesn't react well to your face. But it's called E.L.F. Studio Flawless Finish Foundation. They only have 6 shades, but that's fine. The E.L.F. Studio Flawless Finish Foundation, and for me, I don't think it's what I'm looking for personally, though I would be willing to give it a try. I mean, if it worked and I found a foundation that I loved that was cruelty-free and $6, I mean, that'd be pretty amazing. Okay, so getting to the review. Here is the dupe. And I'm going to prove it and demonstrate it while I just dropped a product. Okay, I have a bit of freckles naturally. Okay, so here's my skin before. I'm going to show you how these are duped. So this is what I just got today. I have tried this product a few times with the testers in the store, and I've used it all over my face to make sure that it was giving me the coverage that I desired, but most importantly that I had no reaction that didn't break me out, and that was the main one, and that it didn't make my skin red. And I can actually tell you that it didn't. I'm not saying what's for me will work for you, but I think might as well try. This is a number 15, the lightest shade, okay? Comparing it to Porcelain, number 11 from Gosh. Watch the swatch. The rhymes. Here we go. Putting on not very much, just so you can get the idea. Okay, look. Blending this out in my hand. Okay, now Porcelain. And we'll do on my other hand. And they almost feel very similar consistency. If anything, I'd say Gosh feels a little more watery, but okay, that's much I used there. Gosh, I used a little bit more, barely any. That was by accident. Okay, now let's put it in. Do they look the same to you? To further demonstrate my point, I'm going to put Gosh on one half and Makeup Forever on the other. And you're going to see the difference, how it will look the same. I found a match, and it's cruelty free. It will be very similar, if not the same. So hold on one sec. Okay, so this is going to look funny, but I like to apply foundation primarily with my fingers. I sometimes do use a brush, but I find it more effective and I use less product if I actually use just my fingers. So I'm just going to put a bit on, and I'm just going to give you an idea of how I put it on, so you have an idea. Again, I'm saying idea. Okay, which side is which? I'll put it on this side. Okay, so I just put it like that, and I rub it in like this, but I make sure it's even all over, so I'll be back in one sec. Okay, just to prove to you, you can see I look really funny now, very visage. Never mind, so here you go. There's half of it on, so you can show the exact line of where it stopped. So that's the Makeup Forever on one side, and I'll be back in a sec with Gosh. Alright, here we go. Moving close so you can see. They are very similar. I will admit the Makeup Forever one is a teeny bit, as you can see right there. It's a teeny bit paler in the Makeup Forever, but here you go. Cruelty-free replacement, half the price. Cha-ching! I'm back. I wanted to show you half an hour to 45 minutes later the results of how it looks. You know, again, I have half of the Makeup Forever on one side of my face and the Gosh X-ceptional Wear Foundation on the other. And I think it looks the same. And it feels very similar. In fact, actually, I shouldn't say similar, it feels almost identical. It's like 0.5% thicker, heavier for Makeup Forever, but it's not even barely percent in my books. I hope this helps people. You can get Gosh Foundation products, you can try online. If you're in the UK, I'm sure you're already aware of Gosh, and you can get it at Superdrug. If you're in Canada, it's on sale at Shoppers Drug Mart, usually about $20. If you're in the US, try Walgreens. I don't know if they have it at CVS, or try Rite Aid. You could try those places. I've contacted Gosh to ask them exactly what retailers in the US carry them, but they haven't got back to me on that yet. But they did get back to me previously about their animal testing policies, and they are cruelty-free. I was very impressed with their customer service. They were saying, like, you know, we're very strict on that. Oh, I never mentioned the Gosh has 6 shades as well. I hope these reviews have been helpful, that have sort of maybe not necessarily dictated your opinion of what to choose, but we'll sort of get the ball rolling, going, maybe I could try this product, or maybe I try that. Inspires you, you have fun, and know that you're beautiful already. You don't need to wear foundation to feel beautiful inside, that this is just the body, that's not the fullness of who you are. But I understand then you may want to create different looks for fun, or it helps you to have confidence if you're having skin problems, whatever. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful day. All right.